it lives up to the billing. Hi everyone, I'm Jacob. I'm the CowHatLibrarian, and this was a good one, albeit a little later than I would have liked to talk about it. Ideally, I would have had this ready for you before Halloween, and it would have been a perfect story to read in the lead up to Halloween, but alas, I didn't read it until November, and I'm not recording on it until nearly December. So keep it in mind for next year's spooky season. It is The Slightly Spooky Tale of Fox and Mole by Cecilia Heikkilä. As our story starts, Fox lives a fairly happy life. In the spring, in the summer, in the fall, the early fall at any rate, he's out and people fly kites and it's by the seashore and it's a beautiful place. And he makes jam and other things and has friends visit and it's wonderful. But then, all too soon, the leaves start to fall. Summer fades away. And the only two people left are Fox and Mole living in that area. They're neighbors and friends, and they spend time together, mostly at Fox's house. Mole invites itself over and begins eating and drinking and having Fox read a story. And the story is The Legend of the Scuffling Monster. And over the course of things, Fox reads a story that has a little bit of a scary spot in the center. And Mole eats and drinks until content. And they talk about the story. And this repeats over and over and over again. Mole visits Fox's house every night. Mole eats Fox's food and drinks Fox's tea. And fairly soon, Fox has nothing left. But it's Fox's birthday, and Fox is confident that this night Mole will do the right thing. Mole will invite him over, or at the very least bring food for Fox. Mole will sing a song for Fox instead of demanding that Fox read. Fox is confident that this will be a good birthday after all, until Mole forgets the occasion. And when Fox tries to bring up that something was missed, Mole says, yes, you've forgotten the cookies. When Mole finally leaves, Fox has had enough. Fox eats a whole jar of pickled herrings and everything in it, and thinks about everything that Mole has done and how greedy Mole has been. And Fox begins to transform. And the story goes from there. Now, I read this book to my 8 and my 10-year-old daughters. My 10-year-old is at the point where she'll listen and she'll sort of pay attention, but she likes reading her own books and drawing. And so my 8-year-old was primarily listening to this. She was my main audience. And she was into it. She was so invested in the story after the first few pages that I couldn't stop halfway through. We had to read the whole thing, even though it's a little longer than some of our normal shorter bedtime stories. She was invested. The title, The Slightly Spooky Tale of Fox and Mole, is a perfect description. In the middle of the story, it genuinely gets spooky for a half dozen pages and gets legitimately a little bit scary. Now, I assumed this was not going to be a picture book with a really, really terrifying ending. It was not billed as that. The promotional material was not talking about it in that way. But I was surprised at how effective it was. It genuinely had me worrying for a few pages there, and my daughter was quite worried for a minute or two. It was supremely effective. The text is great. The conceit of having the story within the story that mirrors it to some degree, that has this spooky thing happening and a transformation and this scary creature mirroring what's happening in this book, was delightful. The art style, particularly when Fawkes starts to transform, is incredibly effective. There's a huge, huge, huge tonal shift from the summer when there's blue skies and water and green grass to this creature the fox has become, silhouetted against the full moon, barely any color to the sky, just browns and oranges, and it's clear that nothing is left alive here. It is incredibly effective visual storytelling, and the creator just nailed it. It was wonderful. It was evocative. I hate to use the word masterpiece, but it was darn close to a masterpiece. Now, there are spoilers ahead because I'm going to talk about the rest of the story. There are no deal breakers here other than that it might be a little scary for the younger crowd. For my 8-year-old, it was perfect. For a 7-year-old, it would probably be pretty good. For the 5 and under crowd, you might tread lightly with this book and pick something else instead. And if I was going to try to make a read-alike comparison, I would say if you read stuff like Jeremy Tankard's Bird books, particularly Boohoo Bird, where Bird ramps up and ramps up and ramps up and ramps up and is very, very, very angry, and then sees his friends being upset and then calms down a bit, and there's a similar build up and let down, a similar tonal shift that's echoed in the colors of the background images. It's a lighter weight version of this. So if you like that, if you like the Bird books and you want something a little more mature, a little on the scarier side, this will be right up your alley. If you like something like Are You Scared, Darth Vader? But without the fourth wall breaking stuff, the idea of this dark, desolate place and this scary thing and finding its limit, you might find a lot to like here too. Anyway, as the story finishes, Fawkes has transformed. And meanwhile, Mole is having a nice dinner to itself, unaware of what's waiting just outside. Trying to come in. And Fawkes makes it inside and eats up every bit of Mole's food. And eventually, Mole agrees to tell Fawkes a story. And it very, very gradually gets Fawkes to calm down and calm down until Fawkes is itself again. And the story ends with Fawkes saying that they will see each other again tomorrow. Fawkes will be over right at 6 o'clock. I liked this so much. It was wonderful. I can't wait to see what the creator comes up with next. And I highly, highly recommend it if you're in the mood for a spooky story. So if you're looking for something for a future Halloween story time in particular, for a slightly older crowd, I wouldn't go much younger than 7-year-olds and up. I recommend it. go borrow it from your public library. While I'm on that topic, if you use and appreciate the services offered by your public library, why not take just 1 minute and tell the powers that be exactly that? We're at a time where some public libraries are having trouble finding sustainable funding to continue improving the materials, programs, and services they offer, and a few good words in the right ears might make a world of difference. If by some chance you're a library staff member, don't forget, watching my videos counts as professional development time. With that, thank you for listening to me blab on and on and on about how wonderful a book this is. It really is quite good. By all means, please like, please subscribe, and please check back and see what else I have to talk about from the CowHat Library. Thank you. Bye now.